I want to experience everything that I can before I get married and have kids. So it was just kind of like, hey, let's do it.
I'm interested in doing overseas development, and I thought that having experiences in developing countries would be really beneficial.
My daughter is 5, and she's in Africa mode. We got a book, we're looking over pictures of Africa, we're studying Ghana together, so it's something that I can actually pass down to my children.
My host family basically made my entire trip. They were all very sweet and welcoming. They had 3 kids, and they all made me feel like I was part of their family, and just eating dinner with them every day, discussing politics, made me feel like I was someone French.
That was probably my favorite day that I had in South Africa. We got to just spend some time with the kids there, and they showed us around their school and showed us the really, really neat things they were doing. And they sang for us, and we just got to play with them, and we taught them how to call the hogs.
There was one day where I learned just enough Arabic and they learned just enough English that we were able to sit down and have a conversation, and then we sat and had tea and falafel, and they told me about themselves.
We waited a few hours to see the Dalai Lama, and we hadn't had anything to eat, and then right after that we were supposed to meet with the oracle. And we went in there, and the first thing he said to us is, "You guys look like you need tea and food." And it was just like, wow, you're definitely an oracle.
So the university puts a lot of emphasis on study abroad, and there's a lot of money and a lot of resources and a lot of focus that goes in that direction.
I did get some grants and some scholarships, so that helped out tremendously. Community-based organizations, my church helped out.
After long searches and nights of writing essays, I received the Imhoff Scholarship, which is a scholarship for industrial engineers, and I received the Gilman Scholarship, which is a scholarship for minorities who want to study abroad.
Fortunately, I got funding for almost the entirety of both of my trips from the U of A, so that worked out really well.
It's a bad move not to study abroad just because the funding's already there.
I grew in just various different ways. I grew in just learning about my culture as well as the Argentine culture. I learned more about myself. I grew spiritually. I grew just in being bold and learning how to step out of my comfort zone, whether that is in language or making new friends or just living with a family that I didn't know.
Before I went, I only had 2 semesters, elementary 1 and 2. But when I went to Japan, I realized how much you learn there, especially when you're hungry. Because when you're hungry, you learn quick.
Really, it gave me experiences as far as learning the language that a classroom couldn't offer, because not only was I taking courses there in Spanish, but as soon as I was done with class, I was still practicing the language.
Just the fact that I've studied abroad gives me something different on my resume that they really found exciting, and they did search terms on the resumes for what they wanted in their employees, one of them being Japan, and that is actually how I got the job.
I've heard all these stories. Everyone comes back and they're transformed, and but I want to do it myself, and I want to experience that. I think that like I said, being immersed in the culture is something that is going to be completely gratifying for my future.
And so my friends who had always intended to study abroad, and then we just graduated a week ago and they had never done it, really regret it. And those of us who did it only regret that we didn't do it more.
Study abroad.
Voyager en France.
皆さん、日本に行きましょう。
Samaya Sentley.
Just do it.